Here we go. This is day 8, Reframe, seeing the problem anew. I'm back in my Brazilian garden here. Let's see how today goes. For me, this is one of my favorite courses because it's one of the courses you can do the most in the shortest amount of time. Before we start, let's take a moment. Look at how far you've come. You learned to speak, to put raw thinking into words before the perfect round. You learned to pivot, to see the problem from angles you never chose alone, and to let AI ask you questions. You learn to ask for more, to push and push until the conversation changes. Sometimes the thinking is brilliant, the output is strong, and the solution is still completely wrong. Not because you failed. The common reason is you did the wrong thing right. That's a type 3 error. We're going to work on that in this lesson. Welcome to our reframing. Here's your opportunity. Most people rush to solve the problem in front of them. Too often it's the wrong one. Even more often it's formulated in a way that makes the problem hard to solve. The opportunity is upstream to find the right version of the problem. That's what reframing does. You reframe the problem and the right solution gets a lot easier to see. Here's the belief that traps most smart people. If we just try harder, ask better questions, run more analysis, push the team, we'll certainly find the answer. But thinking harder inside the wrong frame doesn't get you the right answer. It gets you the wrong answer faster, with more confidence and more money spent. The problem with your problem isn't the solution you found. It's how you frame the problem in the first place. Reframing is not about finding a better solution. Every tool we learned so far, S, P, and A, was focused on finding better solution. R does something different. R finds the real problem hiding behind the one you were given. Now, why focus on reframing? Reframing has been proven to be a key difference between exceptionally creative people and ordinary people. For the exceptionally creative, reframing seems to be second nature. Each time they look from a new perspective, new ideas come up. Now, reframing isn't cosmetic. It measurably increases our cognitive engagement with the problem. When you think more, you get different answers. And with each reframe, you get another chance to solve your challenge. Equally important, reframing leads to more ideas. The reality is people, and even AI, get tired over time. Each time you reframe a challenge, you get more ideas. And as we saw earlier, more ideas is more bad ideas, but also more good ideas. Now, the simplest tool I know is how might we. How might we look simple? That's why it works. How says there's a way forward. Might keeps the solution open. We makes the problem shared. This is especially useful when with AI because AI wants to answer quickly. It's also useful with your teams because it takes the problem and doesn't make the responsibility of one person, but everybody's working on the problem together. How might we slows the jump to solutions and focuses you on finding alternative problem definitions. This is the formula. How might we help a specific person achieve a specific outcome despite a real barrier so that meaningful results are achieved? Each part does work. Specific person stops vague thinking. Specific outcome stops abstract goals. Real barrier stops fantasy. And meaningful results connects the question to impact. Now, what's the difference between a weak and a strong how might we? A lot, as you'll see. Here's a story. A hospital can't fill its nursing positions. Beds are understaffed, shifts are uncovered, patient care is at risk. Leadership looks at the numbers and reaches a conclusion. We have a personnel and a budget crisis. So they go to AI and ask, how might we retain nurses? AI comes back with something you would expect. Benchmark salaries against competitors. Launch a recruitment drive. Offer signing bonuses. Improve benefit packages. All reasonable, but expensive, especially when you're in a budget crisis. This would push salaries and costs up. A better solution would be a series of how might we's to better define challenges to solve. Here's how you can do it with AI or, that old-fashioned way as a human being. You write down your challenge. In this case, our hospital is struggling to retain experienced nurses. Many are leaving after stressful shifts and say they do not feel recognized or supported. Then comes the reframe. Look for how we might reframe this. Here's a simple prompt you use as a human that will also work with AI? How might we see this challenge from another perspective? Give me 5 different how might we reframes. The big value of reframing is each reframe creates a new solution space. Here we have several different reframes and several new solution places. If we simply pick one, we'll see what comes out. We look at how might we help nurses feel that staying here is worth it, despite stressful shifts and low recognition, so the experienced staff chose to remain. With this question, different solutions come out. Here are some ideas: flexible shifts, recognition every 2 months, proper manager check-ins, peer support, recovery time. All of these are solutions to the root problem with almost zero additional cost to the overall budget. A weak how might we won't move you very far, but a strong how might we will lead to wider ideas, a different type of idea, and in this case, lower costs that are more likely to address root causes. And here's why this mattered. Horst Rittel did his research on high-performing creative teams. It's an old study, but the points are still the same. They found that creative teams, which are high production, explored up to 26 levels of problem death before they start solving. Most teams stop between 4 and 10. The gap between 10 and 26, that's often where the real problem is. Reframing is not creativity, it's going to the depth that you need to find the right problem to solve your challenge. To better solve problems, a solution is reframing. Here are 3 Learn More links: a Notebook LM podcast, learn how humans and AI synergy drives innovation; an article, Evidence of Problem Exploration in Creative Designs; and a Notebook LM with over 70 sources, Reframing Problems to Unlock Innovation. I'd like to sell you the advanced course. The advanced course is based large in part on one of my favorite books called The Stalking the Wild Solution. The author, Arthur Van Gumney, put together the idea of problution. He talks about when you define a problem right, you're off halfway to a solution. It's about how problem definitions are half of the solution. Today's exercise is easy. Choose a real challenge, generate at least 5 reframes. You can have AI do this or do it as a human. Then look for each reframe for new solutions. You're done when you've checked how this can change the quality of your ideas. Like each course, there's a demo available. See you tomorrow.